I invite you to tune in to My Air, A.I.R with Tracy Newbill-Etheridge, y'all. That's me. I'm the one and the only Tracy Etheridge. Yes, baby, that's me.
Okay, so watch 57.
Watch. WACH, watch.
Yes, ma'am. Well, a couple of years ago, I'll say about 5 to 6 years ago, I had long locks. I had long locks all the way in the middle of my head. I was always known as a fashionista, so I always was dressed spray. You know, I always had my boutique. So that's a question that
Alopecia is real TV talk show. I said to myself, my show gonna be different. I'm not gonna be that perfect show. Yes, I'm gonna be on television, and yes, we're gonna have some quality work, but I want people to relax. Because just like I tell my guests that comes on to my show, don't worry about the cameras. We talking. Mm-hmm. Let's talk here. Mm-hmm. You talk to me. Mm-hmm. Because the camera's gonna roll. Mm-hmm. And they want to, we gonna talk like we talking every day. Mm-hmm. Because you are yourself at that time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's good. And I think people now are looking for transparency.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You know, people are looking for real. People are looking to know that people have gone through some things. Mm-hmm. And that they can identify. You know, from the short time that I met you, I've seen you mesmerize me by your boldness. Yes. I see you on all these magazine covers, rocking these runways, and then I'm like, oh, now she did that. Yes, Lord. I want to be like God. Be the glory. To God be the glory. I tell you, My Air, A.I.R with Tracy Newbill-Etheridge as a host for this talk show is Alopecia is Real. It comes on every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. on Watch Fox 57 in Columbia, South Carolina, and also every Sunday at 10 o'clock a.m. on Fox 31 that's experiencing alopecia. Mm-hmm. She's just received that diagnosis that she has alopecia. What would you tell her?
I would tell her to do her research first. I say do her research first because she needs to know what it is. Mm-hmm. I can tell her all day what it is, mm-hmm. but once a person gets a pamphlet and start reading and researching it for themselves, mm-hmm. and understanding it for themselves. Because it's so easy for us to say, yeah, girl, I got alopecia, it's an autoimmune disorder, that does not allow us to grow hair on the top of My Air with Tracy Newbill-Etheridge. That's me. Sponsored by Divas Boutique, an online boutique that specializes in unique fashion and accessories. Check us out at www.divasboutique.shop. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to My Air, A.I.R with Tracy Newbill-Etheridge, y'all. That's me. I'm the one and the only Tracy Etheridge. Thank you for tuning in on today. On today's episode, I have my girl, my sister, my beautiful, oh my God. I just met her, y'all. And it's like we already know each other, like we've been knowing each other. But we just met. But you couldn't even tell that we just met. So I want to introduce to you guys my girl,
my sis, Gail Estella. How you doing, girl?
Hello, everyone. I am doing great.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you
This is
so much.
fun and
Thank you.
exciting.
Yes, baby.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad that you have chosen to be on my air because I wanted you to, to come on to share because you have a great story and just the story that you have given to me, I want to share with the world. I want to share with the world because I feel like there's somebody out there that want to hear or need to hear what you went through and where you have came out of.
Yes.
And so I am so glad that you are here. So I want to thank you for, taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on to my air and parlay with me. A little bit. Parlay with me.
Thank you.
So, who is Miss Gail Estella?
Gail Estella. I am a cosmetology educator, salon owner of Gail Estella Hair Studio, LLC in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I am a survival speaker.
Oh, wow.
And the founder of Gail Estella Presents the Bald, Bold, and Beautiful. And our mission is to empower, uplift, and strengthen women to know that they are beautiful with or without hair.
That's it. That is
with or
it.
without hair.
With or without hair.
Yes.
I love it. And that's truly my motto. That's what I do. I go out and I tell the people, yes, I'm bald head, but I can do whatever I want to do with or without hair. And pat my little self on the back. I think I'm doing it right. I think I'm doing it. Okay. I'm just trying to check it. But girl, that is awesome. And I received a shirt from you. You blessed me with a shirt. When we first met, you contacted me on Facebook and you was like, Tracy, I wanna bless you with a bald, bold, beautiful shirt.
Yes.
And I accepted it. And I tell you, when I got that shirt, oh my God, I did my little cutting up on it. But I had to put my little touch in because everybody know I'll cut something up in a minute. So I cut it up and I did a whole photo shoot in your shirt. But I did that because I wanted not only you to see, but I wanted everybody to see that, this is who we are.
Right.
We are bald, we are bold, and we are beautiful.
Yes.
We are beautiful.
Yes.
So you are in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Now, in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Okay, we know you got the BBB. We're going to call it the BBB.
Hashtag BBB.
Hashtag BBB.
Hashtag BBB.
So in Rock Hill, South Carolina, is there other things that you're doing in Rock Hill, in the community of Rock Hill?
Yes, it is. On Tuesdays, every Tuesday, I have Transformation Tuesdays.
Okay.
And what that is for any woman or child in the community that's deserving or can't get their hair done, afford to get their hair done, I service them free of charge.
Wow.
That's my way of giving back because I always say I can't always go back in the community, but the community can come to this hair salon.
Wow.
Yes, the Gail Estella Hair Studio.
Okay.
And then also my daughter Asia McCullough passed in 2017.
Oh, wow.
She was diagnosed with brain cancer at the age of 13, but God healed her from cancer. But during this time, we wanted to be able to give back because while we were at St. Jude, so many organizations and different charities came in and donated different items, and hats was one thing that they donated, and it was a need.
Gotcha.
So once we got back home, we wanted to help fulfill that need to other kids. Yes. So Asia passed, like I said, she passed in 2017. But to honor her legacy and to keep her legacy and her memory alive, I still continue Hats for Asia, the Hats for Asia
Wow,
campaign.
that is awesome.
So we collect hats and we donate them to the surrounding children's hospital in the area.
Oh, okay. That is awesome.
Yes.
That is awesome. So I tell you, you doing a lot. You talking about me doing a lot. You doing a lot too. So I'm gonna let you know you doing a lot. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're doing things because we're doing it from the heart.
Yes.
So we're not counting.
Yes.
what we do.
Mhm.
We just doing.
Yeah,
And that's it. That's how God wants us to do.
Yes, and I look at it as service.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
We
give
service.
back. We
Exactly.
service. Yeah,
That's
I
right.
consider
And that's
myself
what
a
God
servant.
wants us to be a servant.
Be a
You know,
servant.
he don't want us to always take. He want us to give. He said, keep your hand open
Mhm.
so you can give,
Yes.
and not keep it closed to keep it with you.
Right.
So I am. So we pretty much doing, you know, the works of God. The works of God. So I'm so excited for you
Thank
to
you.
do that. I
Thank
didn't know, and I want to you know send my condolences for your loss of your child. You know, and that's great that you are keeping her legacy and her you know alive.
Yes.
Her spirit
Yes, I
alive
have to.
through the has.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
awesome.
I have
Awesome.
to.
That's great.
Mhm.
So, I know we just did a live. I did a live with you.
Yes.
Earlier,
It was
and
wonderful.
it was a great. It was
Mhm.
love thyself, and we really had a great time. I think we got a lot of hits
We did.
off of it,
Mhm.
and that lets us know there is people out here that needed that. Needed to hear that.
Mhm.
Needed to hear the positivity things that we had said in the live,
And how to love.
and how to love thyself.
Mhm.
So looking back with loving thyself,
Mhm.
we're gonna go backwards
Okay.
in your past.
Okay.
Take us from in your past to where you at now, and how you overcame these obstacles that we know that the devil gave, tried to put through us, but we already know that God already had his hands in it.
Yes. I always like to go back, you know, for me, I always like to go back at the age of 11.
Oh, okay.
When I first went to Fairwell Middle School, and this was a new school with new kids that I didn't know.
Okay.
And I can remember seeing these 3 girls sitting on a hill. They were light complected, they had long hair,
Okay.
and they had boyfriends. And I can also remember that was the first time that I felt myself feeling insecure.
Yes.
I felt myself comparing myself to them
Right.
because of the fact they had this long hair. I was light complected.
Yes.
I didn't have the long hair. I didn't have the boyfriend.
Okay.
And I can remember feeling not pretty.
Mm.
And, you know, I think about why I was only 11, but I can remember all these emotions and all these
Right.
feelings. And by that, it just set me up, or I allowed it to set me up
Yes.
for a life of making bad choices.
Right. Right.
You know, because like I said, I didn't feel pretty. I didn't have my confidence level. I didn't have a high
Right.
confidence. And I made bad choices
Gotcha.
in relationships.
Yes.
And I eventually entered into a domestic violence relationship. And I knew this person was an abuser because I had heard, but you know how we think that we're going to be
We're gonna
exempt.
change, and we might change.
Yeah, we're going to be
We're gonna be
exempt.
the change
we're
of
gonna
that
be the
of
one.
him.
It's
Yes.
not going to happen to me.
Right.
And for a long time it didn't, but I can remember the signs.
Yes.
Yeah, I can remember the signals. I can remember the red flags.
Wow.
But I ignored them.
it.
Yeah, I ignored them. And I can remember the very first time it happened. We had gone out, and I was ready to go, and he wasn't ready to go. And it became an altercation. And he threw me down some bushes. I can remember being thrown in the bushes. And I tried to fight back,
Yeah.
you know, but a woman can't fight a man.
No.
And yeah, we can't fight a man. We're not that strong. And I
Right.
remember trying to fight back. And eventually, he didn't hit me
Yeah.
that time. He just pinned me down.
Pin you down.
Yeah, and so he eventually let me up. And I was in Columbia at the time, and we were commuting to Charlotte to work.
Okay.
And instead of me just getting up the next day, thinking about what I'd done the night before, and going on to work by myself, he called. Baby, I'm sorry. It's never going to happen again. The honeymoon stage.
Gotcha.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's never going to happen again. And I believed him. I
Yes.
wanted it to be true. But it wasn't. And that relationship lasted for 3 years.
Oh wow.
And for 3 years, the abuse lasted as long. There were times that I walked away from the relationship but I went back.
Went
And
back.
statistics states that it takes a woman 7 to 10 times before she walks away from an abusive relationship and stay away from it.
Wow.
So I might have exceeded my 7 to 10 times, but I did. I eventually left. And I think about when we talk about things coming around in full circle.
Yes.
It came around in full circle for me. We had gone to Charleston, and on the way back, he got upset with me about something. And I can remember him just deviating off the interstate from Charleston back to Columbia.
Right.
And he deviated off to the Orangeburg exit.
Okay.
And he took me down to this obscured area. And this person, it just seemed like it was some type of innate sense in him that he knew where the obscured areas were.
Right.
That if something were to happen to me,
no one would
find me. You would find me by circumstance and access.
Right.
And so he pulled me out into the bushes again. It's a different time. And he pulled me in the bushes and he just pinned me down. And I could just remember thinking to myself, if I get back, this is going to be the last time. I had been tired, I was tired, and it had to end.
Yeah.
And so I made it back to Rock Hill. I made it back to Columbia. And that next day, my ex-coworker called me, and he told me that his sister had passed. And her boyfriend had killed her.
Wow.
And he said, every time I try to think of my sister's face, I see your face instead.
Right.
Yes. And I went to the funeral, and I remember going to the funeral. I remember seeing her in the casket, and he had choked her. I too had been choked.
Yeah.
The place where he choked her, I too had been that place.
Jesus.
And the only thing, I just replaced her face with mine, and I said, or her body with mine, and this could have been me.
Yes.
And that was my last time. I walked away from that relationship. And I had to do a lot of things not to go back. But getting back to that, if there's any women or anyone that's in an abusive relationship right now, I want to tell you something someone told to me. It's okay to love them. Because we may say, well, he's a good person if he's not being abusive.
Right.
Or he didn't used to be this way, but
Right.
he is this way now.
Right.
But I love him, and I loved him, and I really just wanted it to end. And I remember this lady telling me, baby, it's okay to love him. I'm not telling you not to love him, but you can love him from afar.
Yes.
You can love him from afar. And for that person that's out, that has had the courage to walk away, I was also told, treat them as though they don't exist anymore, that they're dead.
Yeah.
Because if they're dead and they don't exist or they're non-existent, you can't go back. You can't go back. And now we're living in the time of social media.
Yes.
Block them off your telephone.
Right.
Change your locations or take your location, your locator off.
Right.
Yeah, take the settings off. And just don't pick up that phone because it's going to be times and you're going to hurt and you're going to be lonely. But it's okay. Feel your feelings. Yeah. Feel your feelings. Feel the pain. Feel the hurt. Feel the regret. Feel, grieve it. Do whatever you have to do, but just don't go back. And during that relationship, there was also drugs, and there was substance abuse during that time as well. And they pretty much went hand in hand. And a lot of times they do go hand in hand with each other. And I just want to say, by the grace of God, on January 22nd, 2023, I celebrated 30 years sobriety.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
oh my God. I got to give you a hand clap for that.
Yes. And
so God be the glory.
God, yes. And it took me a long time to tell the public this.
Yes.
Because I was so embarrassed. I was so ashamed, of what I had gone through.
Right.
And how I perceived myself, and I thought others would perceive me the same way.
Right.
And I allowed the enemy to hold me in bondage, and shame for so long. But God began to speak to me, and you said something as well, that God said He was going to use you for the masses. He was going to use you for the masses to tell your story for women that have lost their hair.
Right.
And that's what God is telling me. It's like, I now know my purpose. My purpose is to share my story.
Share your story.
To another woman that's in a domestic violence relationship. To share my story to someone that has gone through or experiencing drug abuse
Yes.
and even grief because I lost my daughter. And I want to say this because I think God took me through all the things that I went through. So my relationship with him was stronger. My relationship with him was intact because he knew he was going to send me a special child that's going to need me.
Yes.
He knew he was going to send me a special child that I was going to have to show her what God loves was. She was going to have to see in me.
In you. That's
who
right.
God was.
Exactly.
And to believe and trust God.
Exactly.
And I did. You know, so I was able to take care of her. And I also said that if anything would take me back to use it again, it would probably be the loss of my daughter, something good. Because that was my only child.
Right.
You know, and by the time she had got 21, she was my best friend.
Yes,
you
that's
know,
right.
So not only was she my daughter, you know, she became my best friend. She was my friend.
Right.
So I thought that if anything would cause me to go back to using drugs, it would be the death of her.
But let me tell you, in your darkest hour, always remember, God is still there.
God is still there. And so when she passed, friends call, are you okay?
Yes.
You gonna be okay? Do you need us to stay with you? But using never entered my mind.
Right.
Because I knew, first of all, and I asked you about would you let your hair grow back. You said no. And I knew that I couldn't go back to that.
Right.
Because that would be dishonoring God.
And
that would be dishonoring my baby's memory and her legacy as well. And I had to feel my feelings.
Yes.
I had to feel the pain. I had to feel the hurt. I had to grieve. I had to cry. I had to lie in that bed. You know, I had to go some days without taking a shower. You know, I had to do whatever I had to do to allow God to bring me through. But I had to feel my feelings.
Yes.
And in time,
and you just stronger and
I began to get better and better and better.
That's
and I also sought therapy and counseling and support groups as well.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Was you involved in like a support group or also, you know, someone that could hear you? You know, we so often, you know, talk amongst ourselves because we're so afraid or be embarrassed to tell other people. So we like suppress some of these issues and these feelings within us. And I was going to ask you that, but you answered my question.
Yeah. So even with the drugs, I attended Narcotics Anonymous.
Okay.
And I worked the 12-step program.
Okay.
And like I said, I became closer to God. My spirituality grew. You know, my relationship with God grew. And then with my daughter, I started therapy. I went to individual therapy first because I didn't want to do the group thing right away because there were so many different opinions. You know, I just needed to hear.
One-on-one.
One-on-one. And after that, and I still attend. I don't do therapy more, but I do attend the support group. Co-pay.
That is so good. Awesome. Well, girl, I tell you, you don't look like what you went through.
Thank you. And that's what, you know.
And that's good.
Yeah, we don't have to wear our scars.
That's right.
On our shoulders.
That's right. Because if I looked at you and had to figure out your past, I wouldn't have said all of that.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you that God will rebuild you. He will born again. He laid you down and brought you back up.
He would
a new person. Yes. That is so good. Girl, I am so great to have you and to share your story on my air. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's an honor. It's such an honor that to hear your story. And I definitely want to invite you to continue to speak on it because there is others that's out here that that is not ready, but need to hear. Be transparent. A person that have went through something that they have went through. You know, my case, I never been in that situation. But just hearing your story is allowing me to say, okay, I got it. Number one, see the signs.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, if I do see the signs, I need to try to exit on out.
Try to exit out.
Exit on out before it gets to the point, because you wouldn't have known that person was like that.
Yeah. And I always like to tell people with domestic violence,
Yes.
it's subtle. You know, no
Right.
one just comes out the gate
With it, yes.
You know, we have emotional.
Right.
We have emotion.
That's
Different
right.
forms. We have emotional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have financial. We have
That's
sexual.
it.
We
That's
have
right.
verbal.
Yeah.
There's the physical.
Yes.
We have the stalking. We have the intimidation.
See?
So there's so many different forms of domestic violence, and a
Right.
lot of times a person may feel if they're not getting hit or punched, they're not
Yes.
in a domestic violence relationship.
Right.
So most
That's
of it
right.
starts with the emotional or the verbal.
Wow.
Yeah, or the intimidation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the control.
The control. The lie, yeah. The
And
control.
we often mistake control
For love.
love.
He loves me because
But he
wants
loves
to
me
be
because
there all the time.
he wants to know where I am at all times.
And he wants to
That's
be
all.
with
He
me
just
all the
loves
time.
me. Or I got to call him every hour on the hour because he loved me and he's concerned about me.
I can remember being
Yes.
at a club here in Rock Hill, and he lived in Columbia,
Okay.
and he was not from this area. Had just returned back to Columbia, and I can remember being in the club that night, and I told my coworker, "I feel somebody watching me. I feel like someone's watching me," and I'm looking around, and all of a sudden,
It was him.
yeah, and he said, "There's never anywhere you can go that I can't find you."
Wow.
So that's the cunningness. of
Yes.
them. So those
He
are
was
the
trying to
things,
break you down
yeah,
then.
you know, so those are the things that we may think that, okay, they like us and want to be around us or they love us.
Right.
But that's setting it up for
That's
the
setting it
control
up.
in the domestic violence to
Wow.
start. So be aware of those signs.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, with that, all of that being said, I want you to, let us know how can a person that wants to talk more to you about the domestic violence or the substance abuse, how can they can get in contact with you? Do you have a Facebook page, Instagram page? Yeah, please share that with us.
I'm Gail Estella on Facebook. I'm Gail Estella Hair Studio on Facebook and IG, and also Gail Wright 20 on Instagram. Or you can inbox me. I'll be so happy to speak with anyone that's interested in sharing their story, or anyone that may feel that they're in this situation and they just need some type of advice.
All right, y'all got that. I hope that you enjoyed Miss Gail's story. I hope it helped someone. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to My Air, A.I.R. with Tracy Newbill-Etheridge, y'all. That's me. Y'all take care, and I hope to have you come back and tune in on our next episode of My Air, A.I.R. Alopecia is real. Y'all have a great one. Greetings. My name is Tracy Newbill-Etheridge. If you are starting a business, have an existing business, or want to expand your business, contact Erica, your favorite agent, today.
Thank you, Tracy. My name is Erica Edmond, better known as Erica, your favorite agent. As Tracy stated, if you're starting a business, have an existing business, or expanding your business, please contact me today so we can make sure you have proper coverage today. I am licensed in multiple states. Please contact me at 404-596-8461 or 803-550-9928. Look forward to talking with you. Take care. Be blessed.